Hey guys, I'm Arctic Fox, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today, Luke Smith just dropped some news about Transmog in an interview on Twitch. This means we can clean out our vaults with no fear of being able to use those armor pieces in the future. Now, let's look at this clip from Twitch.
But a thing that I and general Destiny players are experiencing right now is this tremendous amount of vault bloat because they're wondering if they're going to need to keep copies of every piece of armor that they have. So what we're doing with Transmog is you're not going to have the copy in your inventory. You can just delete all that shit. We're going to scrape your account data, and the things that are eligible for Transmog will be things that you've collected across your journey. It's not going to be what you have at that moment. So you can, as you're getting ready for Beyond Light, if you want to just like delete a bunch of old shit that you were keeping because you wanted to look sweet, this old Ego Talon 4 Warlock helmet, still probably my favorite Warlock helmet in the game. Like, I can delete that. I don't need to keep that around. And so that's like a small little delighter. There's a sprinkles. Have some sprinkles.
And then here's a tweet from DMG that clarifies that you don't need to have armor pieces in your vault when Transmog goes live for them to be eligible. They're all collection based. Now, one thing to note is that we don't exactly know when Transmog will go live. I'm pretty sure this isn't happening with Beyond Light on day one, but who knows exactly when. But either way, you can still clear out that vault space. The easiest way to do this is to use DIM, Destiny Item Manager, while being in-game so you can transfer the gear or weapons directly to your character to be dismantled. So what you're seeing on screen now is the beta version of Destiny Item Manager, which you can get to by going to beta.destinyitem.manager.com. There's also a Chrome plugin if you use Chrome that you can add and you can click and it will take you directly to DIM. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is to come over to the cog and go to settings and to make sure that name is on top of power level so that way it sorts by name. And now you can see that everything is grouped together, making it much easier to clean out your vault. Now what we're going to look for is duplicates. So what to do is you can do is:dupe. And now you'll see it automatically updates to show you every duplicate you have. Now, what I suggest to do is to go through all of your weapons before you even touch your armor pieces. And as you can see here, I have tons of duplicates. I have yet to actually clean out my vault. I will be doing it later this week. Now, keep in mind that even though sunsetting is happening and weapons won't be viable in the new endgame content, they will still be viable in 90% of the content that's still in the game, like Crucible and Strikes. So don't go just deleting everything out of your vault that's being sunset. Keep the ones that you still like to use and have fun with, along with ones that are actually still going to be viable in that content. I would start with looking for ones that you don't want to keep. So for me, let's look at False Promises. If I click on it and I go to compare, it will bring up every one of them that I have in my vault. And now it's really easy for me to look at every role that's on these and decide on which ones I want to keep. And if you look here under this tag item, you can click favorite, keep, junk, or infuse. That way you can keep track of the ones that you've already done. Now, once you've tagged it as junk, you can go ahead and remove it from this selection. So that way you can compare the only ones that you still have left. Now, if you want to get a little more specific, we can add to this space, sun, and we want to go to after arrivals, which is the current season. And if you're watching this and it's already in Beyond Light, this will still be relevant for the future seasons as well. You'll just have to click on whatever season it is. And it will self-populate on here and show you exactly which ones are being sunset after this season. And as you can see, I only have 2 right here. Now we can move on to the next step of cleaning your vault. Let's remove is:dupe. This will now highlight everything in your vault that is being sunset after this current season. Again, I would recommend removing anything you have no intentions of using from past seasons. For me, I will be keeping my bygones because this is one of my favorite weapons that I will pull out to play with here and there. But I can tag this Flash and Thunder grenade launcher as junk, so I remember to dismantle it later. Now let's look at super specifics as we use the base stat filter. So let's go ahead and remove everything from here and type base stat colon, total, less than or equal to, and for me, I'm going to choose 55. And I'm going to go ahead and collapse the weapons because this isn't really relevant for that. Now, remember Luke Smith said, as long as we have acquired the piece of armor before, we will be able to use it in Transmog. So we can dismantle any armor piece without worry. I don't know about you, but I tend to have a lot more armor than weapons in my vault from time to time, and I need to clear it out. Now, this is just a starting format for me, as 55 doesn't really mean that that's where you need to have the cutoff. You could have anything lower. Like, let's look at this wing contender helmet for the hunter. This has an intellect of plus 25 and a recovery of plus 16. If this had just a little bit more stats on this, it would be god tier. But since it's lacking on the end, I probably should scrap it, but I'm probably going to keep it for now. Don't judge me, I'm a hoarder. You never know, this helmet could end up being the difference between getting whatever build I'm actually going for to be the perfect build, because that intellect is so high, it might get me right to where I want it to be. Now, you can even get more specific and add to your query with space, base, stat, colon, and then you can choose from any of the character stats. And for me, I'm going to choose mobility. And we're going to say less than or equal to 4. And this will highlight everything that has that condition. And for me, I want to have a really high mobility, but I'm usually running Dragon's Shadow, and that gives me a boost of 5. So as long as I have 5 or more, I'm running at least at a 10. But you can obviously choose whatever works for your build. You can do this with any of the character stats. This is actually one of the most important features in this, and being able to actually get the build that you want to have in game. Now, if you want to get even crazier with this, you can. If you go into the search bar, you can see down at the bottom, filters help. This is a list of every command that this is capable of doing. And as you can see, this is quite extensive. So there's quite a bit of power behind this, and you'll be able to do a lot with it. Now, this can be quite the time sink, but I promise you this is 100 times faster than going to the tower and sitting at the vault and going, do I want this? Don't I want this? This will save you time in the long run. Anyways, this is the process that I go through to clean out my vault for the next season. Hopefully this helps you to decide on what to keep and what to shard. If you would like to see more Destiny 2 content like this, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell to know when new content is released. If you found this video to be helpful or informative, consider liking the video as it helps my channel out tremendously. If you have any questions over this or any Destiny 2 content, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter at Arctic Fox Gaming. The link is in the description below. Until next time, Guardians, stay frosty.